All right, I am back with Ron Pippin, the host of Realtor versus Lender podcast. Hey, Ron, how are you?
Good, I'm doing well. How about you, Jennifer?
Good. He is also the branch manager of the Pippin team at Cardinal Financial, and he lends in all 50 states. That's pretty unusual to be able to lend in all 50 states, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, but
That's awesome. Hey,
I
good
won't
for
get
you.
into long details. But yeah, but it is. I have the ability to do that.
Nice. So, Ron, last time we were talking about how to drive consistent business. And now, today, I wanted to talk about how, now that we've driven consistent business, it kind of feels like, you know, we're overwhelmed. Like there's so many hours in the day. We're filling, all our customers fill all those hours. We never have any time, but we want to do more. So, like, now what? I mean, I know there's a lot of things to do, but like, what are like your top tips for that?
You know, there are several things. One of them is that I don't know where to start because there's actually things to do.
I think,
I
yeah, go
start
ahead.
I start my day. I start my day, and first I look at my calendar so that I know what things I have calendared in.
Yeah.
Every day I have certain activities that I do, and they vary on different days. So like on Tuesday, I'm calling all of my agents and all of my my buyers
Bars. Uh-huh.
and the borrowers that are in process so that they get a status. So they get a personal call from me every week and they know that they're going to get that. And so
That's nice.
I set aside time to do that because
Are
if I
you, when you're calling your agents, are you
uh-huh.
using that as lead generation time and your borrowers like asking for referrals and things like that?
Absolutely. So
Great.
in all reality, that time to give a status update is actually a time for me to ask for referrals.
Yep.
My number one goal. The goal to them is, oh, I'm getting a status update. But at the end of that call, I'm also asking for referrals.
Right.
And my goal. But there's not too many people that are going to go, hey, I don't want you to call me every week to get a status update.
No.
They're always happy to talk to me. And if we're doing a great job, I'll get referrals. I don't get them all the time,
How does it sound? Like, what do you say?
absolutely. At the what do I say at
Yeah.
the end? What you said? Oh, just like, hey, who do you know that is, it can be who do you know that is buying or selling right now? Who do
Hmm.
you know in your church group? Who do you know we belong to a little league group or who do you know in this group that is buying or selling right now?
Right.
It's like, who do you know?
Yeah,
And
who do you know that? Yeah, and I think like if people feel a little bit uncomfortable with asking for referrals, and we actually did a podcast on this, like when is the best time to ask for a referral? And honestly, it's like every time, like you do.
every time.
Yeah, but like if you feel uncomfortable, you could literally say like, who do you know that we can help? We've so enjoyed working with you. Or if you have like if you have a listing, let's say in whatever neighborhood, be like, hey, just wanted to let you know we have this new listing in XYZ neighborhood. Who do you know that's looking to move into this neighborhood? Or we have a buyer that's looking to be in this neighborhood. Do you know what I mean? Like you can do like
Mhm.
either make a general kind of, and then the general is who do you know that we can help. Then the second one is kind of like exactly what you said. It's like a general and specific mix of like, who do you know on our little league team that's been talking about buying a house like that I can help. And then there's even the more specific one of like, who do you know that for this like specific property or this specific buyer or something like that.
Yep. So we actually set with buyers, we set that expectation right up front because
Nice.
if you wait to ask for referrals until the transaction is over, the transaction
Silly.
is over. You
Yep.
miss the opportunity. And I'm going to give you an example. So when you go to buy a new car and you're looking at, I don't know, there's a Blazer that just drove by. I'm looking at a big window. So you're going to go drive, you're going to go look for a new Blazer.
Yeah.
You notice, oh, look, there's one on the road. Oh, look, there's one on the road. So all of a sudden you notice this car. It's the
Right.
same when you're buying a house. It's just like, oh, you're buying a house. Oh, I am too. Oh, you're buying
Right.
Oh, I am too. All of a
Right.
sudden, or you're thinking about it, all of a sudden you notice those things.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till somebody's bought the car.
It's over.
Hey, the game is over.
Yep.
We set that expectation up front. It's just like, hey, so if my team is going to do a good job, can we count on you to send us somebody that that maybe you notice is going to that you notice is maybe going to be buying or refinancing? We say
Right.
refinancing because you're in
Yeah,
lending.
that's fine.
Or refinancing, and we ask them, can I count on you? And they'll say, oh yeah, if you're doing a great job, why would I not? And so we hold them to that.
Right,
And
exactly. Now we kind of
during that process, we're saying, so who do you know?
right. And it's like you're fulfilling what you said. I mean, we kind of went off on a tangent. I mean, the topic is about I mean, it is still like increasing your efficiencies, right? So like the question is, how do I manage and leverage my time? And one great way to do that is when you are making your update calls, because we make update calls to our clients, if you want to leverage your time more, that's a great time to also lead generate.
Yes.
Yeah. So like,
yes. So, but you were saying to leverage your time is you have to set aside a time, and it has to be sacred time.
Yeah.
So when you are doing the updates, or you have your lead generation calls, or you're calling your past clients and sphere of influence, that has to be your sacred time. It's like you pick your phone, you tell your team, if you have a team, it's just like, I'm making phone calls. You're not going to get hold of me. Right. So anything that can, unless there's something that's like, hey, we have a file that's blowing up, and if we don't solve this like right now in the next 10 minutes, we're screwed. It's it's just like, really, can you not wait an hour? Is there something that's so important that it can't wait an hour?
And most of the time there's not.
Yeah, rarely is there that can't wait an hour or whatever that time is.
Right. Well, and you bring up a good point.
Because you're gonna be bombarded with so many different interruptions that if you don't set it aside, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Right. And I think I would even take it like a step further. Like, yes, I agree, setting the time aside and kind of, putting your bumpers in there that it's like nobody like bothers me during these times. But I would even say when you're figuring out when to do things, like start with your most important priority, which for both of us is actually lead generation. So however you lead generate, like do that first. And if you're making calls, then doing it in like 50-minute intervals, so you have a 10-minute break. And I forget what principle it's Pareto. Do you know what that's called?
Yeah, it's the Pareto Principle.
Pareto. Okay.
Well, the Pareto, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That sounds right. It sounds something like that. So it's like your brain will actually, what I find is like, so I always end up, of course, having to go to the bathroom or I'm thirsty at like 45 minutes. Well, if I didn't know that if I didn't have it in my mind that my minimum standard was to go from like, 8 to 8:50, at 8:45, I would just like wander off. But now it's like, okay, I have 5 more minutes. Like it can wait. I can wait 5 more minutes and let me get in a few more calls. And of course, those are the ones that set appointments, It could be like, yeah. So I think like doing your most important thing first too, when you are calendaring. And there's rarely any time, there's really no time that things can't wait. They can wait for an hour or 50 minutes even.
Yeah, there's no problem that can't wait an hour. Usually. No,
usually.
So they just know. So just some people call it time blocking. Some people, whatever. But I think it's a really important concept to just.
Yeah. I agree. I think the other thing is that a lot of people, at least for agents, and I'm sure this happens with loan officers too, it's like we think that our customers and our people only want to work with us. So we try to do everything, but like that's impossible. You cannot grow and leverage your time or your business if you're doing every single aspect. What's been your experience with that, Ron?
Yeah, totally. I I think of a restaurant. When you go into a restaurant, you have a host that's there, and they help you get to your seat, and then you go sit down, and you have
Yeah.
somebody that comes over and brings you your water, and then your waitress comes over and takes your order. They bring it back to the cook who cooks it, and then sometimes it's somebody
Right.
that comes and brings you your food, and then there's somebody that comes and cleans up after you. Everybody has a different
And
concept.
why is that? You know?
Because you can't do everything.
Right.
If you wanted to do, if they had one person doing it all, you'd have an hour-long wait and sit 2 people in the restaurant. You just can't help that many people when you do it yourself.
No.
You can't.
Well, and I think we had talked before too, and some of the other things that we did was it's like you're not even good at all of it.
No, right. Yeah.
So
So I have a team behind me, and
where are they? I don't see them. No.
I went. Yeah, you don't. Actually, my whole team works remote.
Nice.
And so we have an office, but I'm like the only one that ever comes in. So there's some more offices behind the door, and so but nobody comes in because we all work remote. And we started doing that probably 2 or 3 years ago before COVID. And so when COVID, it was just like not a big deal.
It was easy, right?
Yeah, it was really easy. But we have like a processor, and I have a couple of loan officer assistants, and I have a loan pipeline manager, and I have somebody that helps with order outs, like ordering appraisals and ordering all that kind of stuff. And I have different people that do different things. Because can I do all that? I can.
I mean, you can.
But I'm going to be limited to helping a couple, 2 or 3 loans a month, maybe. And
you won't be happy. You won't like it.
I am so grateful for my processor and for my loan officer assistants. I am so grateful for them because they're doing stuff that I hate.
And they love it.
Like doing it. And they, you know what? I don't know if you've heard of the DISC profile, but we just all of our people. And we know what personality type they are because we don't want everybody like me.
No.
They don't, because I'm like going out and we talked about this earlier. It's like, I'm a squirrel. It's like
right.
For the place. And
what is your DISC? An ID?
Yeah, I am. What I am. That's exactly what I am. So I like going out and talking to people. I'm I keep the business going forward, but I am not a detail-oriented person.
Right.
You want me processing your loan? We are not going to have a 30-day time frame.
You're getting audited too.
Oh, we're totally getting audited because I am not going to be detail-oriented. So I'm grateful for those people that are the way they are.
Yeah.
They are good at what they do. And so when you surround yourself with people that are really good at what they do and they in their sphere of what they're good at, man, I tell you, you can grow. And I know that that's a little bit different for agents, you're going to have transaction coordinators.
Yeah.
You're going to have different people on your team.
I mean, the transaction coordinator is like the most important person because that's a per file. You don't have to take on additional liability of like an employee or anything like that. What they charge for their work and the amount of time that it would take us, like you as the agent, to do it, it's a no-brainer. Like every single person, after they need to hear from me for like a year to hire one. And when they finally do, they're like, this is the best. It's like, no shit, no kidding, man. Like, why wouldn't you do that? What I did was I wrote down all the things that I didn't like to do. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to hire all those things out.
I did the same thing. I went through our entire process.
Yeah.
And I picked out the things there's 3 things. Things that I like to do, the things I'm good at, and things that generate money.
Oh, that's a great
they're not all the same.
Yeah.
And so wherever those things intersect, that's what I do.
Nice.
So I do it, I'm good at, and it generates me money. So I'm going water skiing later today. It's not going to generate me any money for me.
It might. You can ask for referrals.
Yeah, I might. I am going out with a realtor, so you don't know.
There you go.
So yeah, now the squirrel kicks in. It's just
I know. But so if they're in those 3 circles, you do it, and then everything else gets hired out, I assume?
Yeah. So that's exactly what happens is I have a team that takes on all that other stuff.
Yeah.
and it just works so well. And
Well, and to your point, like they're better at it. Like even though you can do it, you're probably slow at it. You're probably that's what I found. It's like probably I mean honestly, I've never no wait. I inputted a listing one time and it probably took me all day. I was like, this is terrible. I'm not doing it. I can't do this. Like so it's like I'm not even good at it and I hate it and like I got it all wrong and then we got in trouble, of course, like
Mhm.
it's so dramatic.
So think about one thing that you have to think about is what is your hourly income?
Correct.
And
And
if
you wouldn't know that unless you tracked.
you got to track it. So so if you're making, I don't know, you're making
Average is like at
60,000,
least,
200,000, whatever your
yeah.
income is, you just figure out what that hourly income, and
And
then
it's usually like $300 or $400 per hour, and that's if you're at like
usually,
100, like, and that's a low.
yeah, usually. So even if it's $100 an hour, would you pay somebody $100 an hour to input a listing?
I
You
mean,
better say no to that.
that's not what it caught, right? No,
That you better say no to that. So why are you inputting that listing?
right.
So if you would not pay somebody that kind of money to do that,
Stop it.
do it exactly. That's it.
Mhm.
Stop it. Stop it and hand that off to somebody else
Yeah.
and go do what you're good at that generates income and that you like to do. And which is usually for people like us, it's usually lead generation out showing homes and out whatever it is that you're doing that you're good at, go do that.
It's like sales activities, and it's
Yes.
basically not administrative activities.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and chatting about it. It is interesting to see like how we know lenders and realtors, it's kind of like we're the same, but we're different, but there's a lot of similarities. So,
They really are. We cross over so much more than people think.
but it's a battle. No.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It's really funny. Yours is toe to toe, and mine's lender versus agent. But we're really, you think it's like a battle, but we're really collaborating. It's really
Yeah.
what it is.
It's
But
true.
you're right.
That's awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Ron. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye.